The small survey ship Pathfinder glided beyond the orbit of Neptune, its silver hull reflecting faint sunlight. Myra sat in the pilot seat, running final checks before their first long-distance jump test. Tom, the ship's engineer, double-checked the new jump drive's power readings while Dan, their communications officer, kept a steady eye on incoming signals. It was supposed to be a quiet day, far from any traffic. Power steady at 99%, Tom reported. If this thing works, we'll be able to cut travel time to Mars in half. Myra smiled. Let's make sure it doesn't cut the whole ship in half. Dan chuckled and secured his headset. No signals out here. We're all clear. The new jump drive was a human invention still in testing. It used gravity fields and precise calculations to fold space. A minor error could send a ship far from its intended destination. Still, the Pathfinder crew trusted the math. Coordinates set, Myra said. Engaging drive in 3, 2, 1, a sudden hum filled the cabin. The ship shuddered as light bent around the hull, stars twisting into thin lines. Then, with a flash, the Pathfinder vanished from local space. For a moment, everything was silent. Then alarms blared. Myra, Tom said slowly. These readings make no sense. We're not near Mars. In fact, I can't even find the sun on this chart. Myra looked at the navigation screen. Instead of familiar constellations, hundreds of unknown stars glimmered. A dense cluster of bright dots suggested they were deep inside an uncharted region. Check the drive, Myra ordered calmly. Maybe it overshot. Tom's hands flew over the controls. Drive is fine. We jumped, somewhere very far away. Before they could adjust, Dan's console lit up. Incoming transmission, he said, surprised. Multiple sources, and they're strong. The main view screen lit up with a fleet of massive ships, sleek black cruisers bristling with weapons. Strange symbols glowed on their hulls. Uh-oh, Dan whispered. Whoever they are, they noticed us. A sharp voice spoke in a language none of them knew. The computer struggled to translate, producing a rough message: unknown vessel, identify yourself. Power down or be destroyed. Myra stayed calm. Transmit our ID in every frequency we've got. Say we're peaceful explorers. Dan complied, sending out Earth signal codes. A moment later, the voice returned, angrier this time. The translation came through more clearly: surrender your ship at once. You are in Virel Dominion space. Do not resist. Tom raised an eyebrow. They sound serious. Should I start warming up the drive for another jump? Do it, Myra said, still steady. But don't panic. Maybe they're just territorial. To the Dominion fleet, the human ship's calm behavior was strange. Any small craft surrounded by Imperial warships should have been terrified. But Myra's voice carried no fear, no hesitation. Dan continued transmitting polite greetings while Tom worked quietly on the engines. Are they charging weapons? Myra asked. Dan scanned the readings. Doesn't look like it. But they're moving closer. Fine, Myra said, tightening her grip on the controls. We'll hold position. No sudden moves? Meanwhile, aboard the Dominion flagship, Admiral Virek glared at the tiny ship on his screen. They do not yield, he growled. No distress signals, no attempt to flee. They must have powerful allies. His officers exchanged nervous looks. Should we fire a warning shot, sir? Virek hesitated. Not yet. If they have jump technology superior to ours, they may retaliate. Back on Pathfinder, Tom whispered, can you believe this? We make one mistake and end up in alien space. Myra kept her eyes on the fleet. Stay focused. If they wanted us gone, we'd already be gone. Maybe they just want to talk. Dan nodded. Or maybe they're wondering why we're not scared out of our minds. The human crew continued working as if nothing was wrong. Myra calmly adjusted power settings. Tom checked fuel levels. Dan sent another message, introducing themselves as explorers from Earth. Inside the Dominion fleet, officers grew more uneasy. No one had ever seen a species so casual in the face of overwhelming force. Some began whispering that humanity must have secret weapons or hidden fleets nearby. Admiral Virek finally spoke. Do not provoke them. Track them. Learn their origin. If they are bold enough to face us alone, they are bold enough to destroy us. On Pathfinder, Myra sighed in relief as Tom confirmed the jump drive was ready again. We can leave at any time, he said. Not yet, Myra replied. Let's see if they try to talk first. No sense making enemies before we even know where we are. The Dominion ships formed a wide circle around Pathfinder, their weapons armed but silent. The humans floated calmly at the center, unaware they had just stumbled into one of the largest empires in the galaxy and that their steady composure was causing far more fear than open aggression ever could. The small ship Pathfinder remained motionless among the giant Virel Dominion warships. Their dark hulls glowed with faint green lines, weapons pointed directly at the human craft. Myra kept her hands steady on the controls. Tom watched the power levels of the jump drive, while Dan carefully monitored every signal. The Dominion hailed them again. A tall alien with a narrow face appeared on the main screen, speaking a sharp, clipped language. The computer's translation system improved quickly. Unknown vessel, the voice said, you are trespassing. Surrender your craft to Dominion authority or be destroyed. Dan swallowed hard but kept his voice calm. This is the Earth vessel Pathfinder. We are explorers. We mean no harm. Myra nodded to him and added, we had a navigation error. We just want to leave peacefully. On the Dominion flagship, Admiral Virek studied the three humans on his screen. Their calm expressions unsettled him. No fear, no panic. Either they were trained warriors or they had a fleet hidden nearby. Do they understand the danger? Asked one of his officers. They must, Virek muttered. No small vessel would sit this still unless it has powerful backup. Back on Pathfinder, Tom whispered, they look like they're arguing about something. Dan adjusted the signal strength. Maybe they can't believe we're not scared. Myra kept her voice steady. Let's keep it that way. No sudden moves? The alien commander spoke again. Transmit your fleet identification codes. State the location of your nearest base. Myra raised an eyebrow. We don't have a base out here. We're just a single ship from Earth. Dan sent their ship's ID code and a basic star chart showing Earth's position. To the Dominion, this looked like a deliberate trick. Why would such a confident species reveal so little information? On the flagship, Virek frowned. They claim to come from a single planet far outside our borders. Impossible. No species reaches jump capability alone. They must be hiding the truth. His officers nodded. Should we disable their ship? Not yet, Virek said. Observe them. Learn their intent. If they are testing us, we must not appear weak. Meanwhile, Tom whispered, drives ready whenever you want, Myra. Just give the word. Not yet, Myra replied. Let's see what they really want. Dan tried another friendly transmission. We have no hostile purpose. We only wish to find our way home. Can you share your star charts? The Dominion did not answer. Instead, their ships shifted formation, encircling Pathfinder like hunters surrounding strange prey. Myra adjusted the ship slightly to maintain a steady position. Her movements were calm and precise, almost casual. Virek watched closely. Notice their lack of fear, he said to his staff. A lesser species would beg or run. These humans do neither. They may be preparing to strike, one officer warned. Or they simply do not consider us a threat, Virek replied grimly. Either way, they are dangerous. Back in the human ship, Dan frowned at the sensor readings. They're locking weapons on us but not firing. I think they're trying to scare us. Myra gave a slight smile. If they think we're scared, they're not looking very closely. Tom chuckled nervously. We should be scared. Those cruisers could vaporize us in a second. Then let's not give them an excuse, Myra said. To ease the tension, Dan broadcast a peaceful signal on every open frequency. He included a simple message in many languages: we are explorers. We wish to leave in peace. The Dominion Council received the message instantly. Some commanders saw it as proof of arrogance, only a great power would speak so boldly under threat. Others thought it was a clever trap. Virek made his decision. Do not engage. Let them move freely, but track them everywhere. If they are scouts, their fleet will follow. On Pathfinder, Dan noticed the alien ships holding position. Looks like they're waiting for something. Good, Myra said. Let's plot a course out of this region. We'll jump as soon as we're clear. Tom programmed the drive while Myra guided the ship slowly forward, making sure not to appear hostile. As Pathfinder eased away, Dominion ships silently shifted to match its path. They gave no warning shots, no further demands, just constant observation. Dan shook his head. I think they're scared of us. Can you believe that? Tom glanced at the glowing symbols on the cruisers around them. Scared? Those ships could flatten a city. Exactly, Myra said calmly. And yet they're keeping their distance. That tells us more than they realize. While the humans treated this as an awkward navigation error, the Virel Dominion treated it as a major threat. Reports spread across their empire of a mysterious new species that showed no fear when surrounded by war fleets. Some whispered that humanity must have weapons more powerful than any Dominion supercruiser. As Pathfinder prepared to jump again, Myra looked at her crew. Stay sharp. Something tells me this isn't the last time we'll see these guys. The small human ship vanished into folded space, leaving behind a circle of uneasy Dominion warships and the first sparks of a legend that would soon spread across the stars. The Pathfinder emerged from jump space with a gentle hum. Myra checked the navigation screen and frowned. Still no sign of home. These charts make no sense. Tom tapped the controls. We're definitely far from Earth. I can't even find a familiar star. Dan shook his head. If those Dominion ships follow us, they'll figure out where we came from. We need to stay quiet. But staying quiet was harder than it sounded. The moment Pathfinder appeared, dozens of small trade ships picked up its energy signature. In a nearby starport, merchants whispered about a mysterious human craft that had faced the Dominion without flinching. Word traveled fast among spacers. As the crew approached a modest refueling station orbiting a yellow star, the docking controller sent a curious message. Unknown vessel, identify yourself. Are you the ones who stood against the Dominion fleet? Myra raised an eyebrow. That didn't take long. Dan replied politely. We're explorers from Earth. We just need fuel and star charts. The controller's voice held respect, even fear. Docking is free of charge. Our station welcomes you. Tom looked surprised. Free fuel? That's a first. When Pathfinder landed, station workers gathered at a safe distance, watching the crew step out. They expected armored warriors or stern diplomats, not three calm humans in simple flight suits. Myra thanked the workers and asked for local charts. The staff eagerly provided everything they had, offering food and supplies as well. This is strange, Dan whispered. They're treating us like heroes. Tom grinned. I'm not complaining. What the humans didn't know was that Dominion spies were listening. Reports flooded back to Admiral Virek. The mysterious humans had docked without fear, mingled with aliens, and spoken with casual confidence. To Dominion intelligence, this looked like a scouting mission by a powerful empire. In a council chamber aboard the flagship, officers debated. "They are too calm," one said. "No species that small would act this way unless they had great power." "Perhaps they are preparing to strike," another added. "Why else would they travel alone in hostile space?" Virek considered this silently. "Do not engage them directly," he ordered. "Let them believe we are watching. But prepare contingency fleets." Meanwhile, Myra, Tom, and Dan moved from stall to stall inside the starport, gathering information. Myra traded a simple earth tool, a precision wrench, for a copy of a navigation map. Tom helped a local mechanic repair a faulty engine by hand, impressing everyone who watched. Dan shared music recordings from Earth, which drew a crowd of curious aliens who tapped their claws to the strange rhythms. "This is amazing," Dan said with a smile. "They actually like our music." The humans' friendly behavior spread another wave of rumors. Traders whispered that these humans were not only fearless but generous. Some believed this was a clever disguise for military scouts. Others believed Earth must be a paradise world that raised natural warriors. Back aboard Pathfinder, Tom studied the new star charts. "These maps are good, but I still can't find a route back to Earth. We might need to hop from station to station." "Then we'll do that," Myra said calmly. "No need to rush. As long as we keep talking to people, someone will know the way." Dan leaned back in his chair. "You realize the Dominion probably thinks we're up to something." "They're wrong," Myra said with a shrug. "We just want to get home." But to the Dominion fleet shadowing them, Myra's calm voice sounded like the tone of a commander who had nothing to fear. Dominion officers tracked every move the Pathfinder made, convinced that these humans were surveying the Empire's weaknesses. The next day, Pathfinder departed the station with full fuel tanks and friendly waves from the locals. Dominion scouts reported that no bribes, threats, or orders had been exchanged. The humans simply walked in and left without bowing to anyone. In the halls of power on a Dominion capital ship, this behavior was seen as deliberate defiance. If the humans could behave so casually under threat, then their hidden strength must be vast. Virek ordered more ships to monitor the human vessel. "They are bold," Virek told his council. "And boldness comes from power. Prepare the fleets. We cannot allow an unknown empire to challenge our rule." Back in the cockpit of Pathfinder, Myra guided the ship to its next jump point. Tom ran another diagnostic on the drive, while Dan kept recording every strange encounter. "You know what's funny?" Dan said. "We haven't done anything special. We're just being polite. And fixing things," Tom added. "Everyone loves free repairs." Myra smiled slightly. "Let's just hope our friendly attitude doesn't get us into trouble." The small ship vanished into folded space once more, completely unaware that its ordinary crew had just shaken an empire. The Pathfinder drifted through quiet space, its jump drive cooling from the last leap. Myra scanned the new star field while Tom checked fuel reserves. Dan listened to faint broadcasts, hoping to learn more about their location. "This sector seems calm," Myra said. "No Dominion ships nearby." "Let's hope it stays that way," Tom replied, running numbers on how far their fuel could take them. "We can make 2 more jumps before we really need to refuel again." Dan suddenly leaned forward. "Wait, I'm picking up chatter from a trade hub not far from here. They're talking about us again." "What are they saying this time?" Myra asked. Dan translated from the alien language. "Some call us the Fearless Ones. Others say we're scouts for a hidden human armada. And get this, someone claims we disabled a Dominion warship just by staring at it." Tom laughed. "If only they knew I can barely fix a coffee machine without breaking it." "Rumors spread faster than light," Myra said calmly. "Let's keep moving. We'll take a quick stop at that hub and get more maps." When the Pathfinder approached the trade hub, the docking bay cleared instantly. Traders moved their ships aside to give the humans room. The station master greeted them in person, offering fuel and supplies at no cost. "Your courage inspires us," the station master said respectfully. "Any enemy of the Dominion is a friend here." Myra frowned slightly. "We're not anyone's enemy. We're just explorers trying to get home." But her words didn't change what others believed. To the station workers, Myra's calm tone sounded like the voice of someone who didn't need allies, only respect. While Myra arranged supplies, Tom found a broken cargo loader in a corner of the docking bay. He repaired its jammed engine with his tools in minutes, impressing nearby workers. Dan handed out copies of Earth music, and soon several aliens were tapping their claws and tails to the beat. "This is good," Tom said, wiping grease from his hands. "We're making friends." "Friends are good," Dan agreed, "but I think we're making legends instead." Back in the Dominion fleet, Admiral Virek studied new reports. "They have docked again," an officer told him. "No payment demanded, no threats made. Yet every station welcomes them as honored guests." "Do they share information about their home?" Virek asked. "Nothing. They only request star charts and fuel." Another officer stepped forward. "Admiral, this cannot be coincidence. They must be gathering intelligence, choosing targets. The locals treat them like heroes. Perhaps they are spreading influence to prepare an invasion." Virek considered this carefully. "Fearless explorers who need no payment, who help strangers and walk unguarded among aliens, yes, they act as if no one can touch them. What shall we do, Admiral?" "Double our surveillance. Send 2 more fleets to watch their path. If they return to their world, we will know where this new power lies." While Dominion fleets moved into position, Myra guided Pathfinder out of the hub and into open space again. Dan glanced at the sensors. 3 ships just dropped out of jump behind us. Not Dominion markings, but they're armed. "Keep a friendly channel open," Myra said. "No need to look nervous." The 3 ships hailed them cautiously. "Are you the humans who stood against the Dominion?" a voice asked. "We didn't stand against anyone," Myra replied evenly. "We just met them by mistake. We're explorers, not soldiers." Yet the alien captain insisted on escorting Pathfinder to the edge of the system. "The Dominion will not touch you while you're under our protection," he said. Tom grinned. "We're being treated like royalty." "Or like a dangerous weapon," Dan muttered. The escort left once they reached open space, and Pathfinder prepared for its next jump. Myra kept her voice calm, but she couldn't ignore how many eyes were on them now. "If this keeps up," Myra said, "Earth is going to have visitors long before we get back." Tom tightened his seat belt. "Let's just hope they're friendly." Dan glanced at the screen full of incoming signals. "Some will be friendly. Some won't. But right now, they all seem afraid of us." Back in the Dominion capital sector, Virek addressed the Imperial Council. "These humans must not be underestimated. Their confidence is unnatural. I propose we assemble a full blockade to remind them that the Dominion commands this galaxy." "Will that not risk war?" asked one counselor. Virek shook his head. "If they are as strong as they appear, we must be ready. If they are weak, we will crush them quickly." As Pathfinder vanished into jump space again, Myra remained unaware of the plans forming against her crew. The humans thought they were just passing through, but the galaxy now saw them as something far greater, a bold new force that refused to bow before the mighty Dominion. The Pathfinder came out of jump space near a quiet refueling outpost circling a small red star. The ship drifted calmly while Myra checked their bearings. Tom scanned fuel levels and engine power, while Dan looked for any nearby transmissions. "Looks clear," Tom said. "No Dominion ships on the scanners." Myra guided the vessel toward the outpost. "Good. We'll refuel, pick up another map, and get moving before anyone notices us." But someone had already noticed. Far away, Admiral Virak watched the humans' path on a large screen aboard his flagship. "They move as if they own the stars," he said coldly. "This calmness is too dangerous. Assemble a blockade at their next stop. I want to see how fearless they truly are." Dominion fleets moved into place with precision. By the time Pathfinder docked at the outpost, dozens of heavy cruisers waited just beyond sensor range. Inside the small human ship, life felt normal. Tom stretched after running engine checks. Dan reviewed new data from the last trade hub. Myra remained steady at the controls, thinking only about their route home. When they finished fueling, Dan noticed something strange. "Myra, multiple ships just appeared on long-range sensors. Big ones. And they're closing fast." Tom peered over his shoulder. "Dominion again." "Definitely," Dan confirmed. "At least 20 cruisers." Myra stayed calm. "We'll undock slowly. No sudden moves? Keep the jump drive ready, Tom." The Pathfinder left the outpost at a smooth glide. But as soon as they cleared the station, the stars lit up with massive ships forming a wide circle. Dominion cruisers blocked every exit route. The station master called immediately. "Human vessel, the Dominion demands your surrender. They say you are trespassing again." Myra switched to open channel. "This is the Pathfinder. We are peaceful explorers. We mean no harm. Please allow us to depart." A deep alien voice filled the cabin. "You will power down at once. The Dominion will inspect your craft." Tom whispered, "They want to search us." "Stay calm," Myra said. "No need to argue. Just keep the drive warm." To the Dominion commanders, the humans' calm tone sounded like arrogance. Surely no tiny vessel would speak so evenly when surrounded unless it carried powerful weapons. Some captains suggested firing a warning shot to scare them, but Admiral Virak gave different orders. "Do not attack. We will see if their confidence cracks under pressure." Back on Pathfinder, Myra opened another channel. "Dominion ships, please move clear of the station. Our jump drive test may shake loose debris, and we don't want anyone damaged." Tom looked at her sharply. "Are you bluffing them?" "Maybe," Myra said lightly. "Just act like everything is normal." Dan grinned. "If they think our little ship is dangerous, why correct them?" The outpost workers, hearing this exchange, froze in awe. They believed the humans had warned the Dominion for their own safety, as if the Pathfinder could destroy cruisers by accident. On the Dominion bridge, officers whispered nervously. "They warn us to keep our distance. What if their drive is a weapon?" Virak frowned. "Hold position. Do not risk an incident. If they wish to leave, let them. But track them closely." The blockade remained tight, but no one dared fire. Myra guided Pathfinder slowly through the gap as Dominion ships shifted just enough to avoid her imaginary danger zone. Tom activated the jump drive the moment they were clear. The little ship vanished into folded space, leaving the powerful fleet behind. The outpost workers spread the story instantly. The fearless humans had ordered a Dominion blockade to stand aside, and the mighty warships had obeyed. Hours later, as Pathfinder cruised through the darkness between stars, Tom leaned back in his seat. "I can't believe that worked." Dan laughed. "I can't believe they're this scared of us. We're just 3 people in a science ship." Myra stayed serious. "They're not scared of us. They're scared of what they think is behind us. They're imagining fleets and weapons we don't have." "Which means," Dan said slowly, "the more calm we act, the more dangerous they think we are." In the Dominion War Council, Admiral Virak slammed his fist against the table. "This behavior cannot continue. If humanity is bold enough to issue warnings to our fleets, they must be dealt with before they grow stronger." Another commander spoke cautiously. "But if they are as powerful as they seem, open conflict would be a mistake." Then we will prepare quietly, Virek said. More fleets, more spies, more weapons. When we learn their weakness, we will strike. Meanwhile, Pathfinder continued its peaceful journey, unaware that an entire empire now feared the name of Earth. The Pathfinder glided silently through the starfield, its engines humming softly. Myra stared at the navigation panel, trying to piece together a route back to Earth. Tom ran system diagnostics, making sure the jump drive was ready at a moment's notice, while Dan checked the communications channels for any useful signals. This sector is strangely quiet, Myra said. No Dominion ships, no patrols. I wonder if they're giving us space to pass. Tom shook his head. They're not giving space. They're probably still watching us from behind the scenes. Sensors can only show so much. Dan chuckled. The humans in the galaxy legend continues, whether we know it or not. Myra smiled faintly. Let's just keep moving. We need to reach a friendly station to pick up more star charts. Soon, the Pathfinder approached a small hub orbiting a green star. The station sent an immediate greeting. We've been expecting you. Your reputation precedes you. Myra raised an eyebrow. Reputation? We haven't done anything special. We just traveled. Inside the station, traders and engineers treated the humans with careful respect. No one dared approach them aggressively. Tom repaired a broken maintenance drone while Dan shared Earth music recordings with curious aliens. Myra quietly requested updated navigation maps and fuel, her calm demeanor drawing admiration from the station staff. This is incredible, Tom whispered. They treat us like royalty, or like dangerous royalty. Dan nodded. I think they believe the stories. That we can face the Dominion and survive. While the humans interacted normally, Dominion spies recorded every detail. Reports reached Admiral Virek and his intelligence council. The Pathfinder crew had docked without fear, offered aid to locals, and spoken in measured tones. No attempt to flee, no sign of panic. Dominion officers argued over what this meant. They are not like other species, one officer said. They show no fear, no hesitation. If they are small, they are cunning. If they are large, they are unstoppable. Virek stared at the reports. Perhaps we have underestimated a species that requires no intimidation. Prepare for all possibilities. We cannot allow myths to turn into reality. Back on the Pathfinder, Myra prepared for departure. Tom had the jump drive ready, and Dan relayed messages of farewell to the station staff, who insisted the humans take extra supplies. As they left the station, Myra noticed the calm yet tense behavior of the local fleet, escorting them just outside the hub. They think we are dangerous, she said softly. Tom laughed. And we haven't done anything yet. Dan grinned. Exactly. We're only being polite, fixing things, and asking for directions. The humans' ordinary actions had spread extraordinary rumors. Traders across nearby systems whispered that the Pathfinder could challenge fleets, survive attacks, and negotiate peace without a single weapon fired. Some Dominion commanders believed Earth must be a massive military power hiding in secret. Hours later, Myra checked the jump coordinates for the next leg of their journey. If we stay calm and careful, we'll get home without incident. The galaxy may be afraid, but we are not enemies. Tom looked thoughtful. Fear and respect can be powerful weapons. Maybe we've been using them without knowing it. Dan laughed. Imagine that. Just being ourselves and accidentally becoming legends. Meanwhile, Dominion fleets shadowed the Pathfinder from afar. Virek and his advisors reviewed intelligence, finally discovering that Earth was a single, technologically modest planet. So they are not hiding weapons or fleets, one officer said. But then why does the galaxy fear them so? Virek nodded. Because their confidence is unmatched. They're calm under pressure, their willingness to act normally while surrounded by our forces. It creates the illusion of great power. This is dangerous. We must watch closely and prepare for anything. On the Pathfinder, Myra and her crew were unaware that every peaceful action and polite gesture only increased the Dominion's caution. They treated aliens with courtesy, helped wherever possible, and focused on returning home. As they prepared to jump again, Dan glanced at the sensors. I think the story about us has grown even bigger. Every system we pass through now believes we are fearless. Myra shook her head with a faint smile. They only see what we choose to show. We're not trying to be legends. We just don't panic when we have no reason to. Tom tightened his seat belt. Well, accidental legends or not, I just hope Earth is ready when this story reaches them. Myra activated the jump drive, and the Pathfinder folded space once more, leaving a trail of whispers and speculation behind. The humans still had no idea that their calm, ordinary behavior had turned them into a symbol of fear and respect throughout a vast empire. The Pathfinder glided through the darkness of deep space, stars streaking past as the jump drive hummed quietly. Myra leaned back in her seat, eyes on the navigation panel, while Tom checked the systems and Dan reviewed recent communications. After weeks of travel, they were finally close to familiar star systems. It feels good to see known stars again, Tom said, relaxing slightly. Even if we are still far from Earth. Myra nodded. Yes. But we're not out of this yet. The galaxy knows we exist now. That will change everything. Dan glanced at the monitors. I've been listening to broadcasts from systems we passed. People are talking about us as if we are warriors, diplomats, and heroes all at once. And remember, we haven't even tried to be any of those things. Tom laughed. We fixed a few engines and shared some music. That's our legend. Myra smiled faintly. Legends are not dangerous if they remain just stories. But we need to be careful. The Dominion knows where we are now. They may try to meet us formally, expecting a confrontation. As they approached a relatively calm sector, a large formation of alien ships appeared on their sensors. They were not hostile at first glance, but their formation and coordination suggested a significant authority. Looks like we're about to meet someone important, Myra said. Tom adjusted the shields. Friendly or not, I don't like flying into fleets this big. Dan opened a communication channel. A tall, regal alien appeared on the view screen. Humans of the Pathfinder, you have captured the attention of our empire. We wish to meet you formally. No hostility is intended, but protocol requires your presence. Myra nodded. Understood. We are peaceful explorers. We will comply. The human ship followed the fleet toward a nearby planet, where a neutral meeting station orbited in quiet space. Docking procedures were simple but strictly monitored. Every step the humans took was observed by countless alien eyes. Myra led her crew calmly through the docking bay. Tom carried equipment carefully, while Dan offered polite greetings to the staff. They were ordinary actions, yet every movement seemed to impress the aliens who watched. In the council chamber, the Dominion representatives were both curious and cautious. They had expected military might or some secret technology. Instead, they found humans who were calm, polite, and entirely ordinary. You have traveled far into our empire, the lead representative said. You have faced our fleets without fear. Why? Myra replied simply, we did not intend to challenge anyone. We made a navigation error and wanted to find our way home. We are explorers, not conquerors. The representatives whispered among themselves. Some still could not believe it. A species so small, traveling alone, behaving without fear or hostility, was unheard of. It challenged everything they believed about power and courage. Tom added modestly, we just do not panic when there is no reason to. That is all. Dan showed them recordings of Earth music and tools they had shared along the way. We like helping and sharing, he said. It is part of who we are. The council listened quietly, but their minds were busy. If these humans could act calmly in the presence of fleets, what else could they do? Could a single planet have hidden power? Was Earth prepared to expand into the galaxy? Admiral Virek's voice echoed in their minds even from afar. We cannot underestimate them. After formalities, the humans were escorted back to their ship. The aliens treated them with respect and offered guidance for safe routes home. Myra, Tom, and Dan prepared to depart, unaware of the immense impression they had made. As the Pathfinder activated its jump drive, Myra reflected on their journey. We've caused more fear than we ever imagined, without doing anything wrong. That's strange. Tom shook his head. Strange, but effective. We didn't even know it was happening. Dan laughed softly. Earth is about to get visitors, whether it wants them or not. Myra smiled faintly. Let's just get home first. Then we can decide how to deal with this new attention. The Pathfinder folded space once more, leaving behind a galaxy that now whispered stories of humans who were fearless, calm, and polite, yet somehow unstoppable in the eyes of the Dominion. For the crew, it had all been ordinary actions. They repaired engines, shared music, asked for directions, and stayed calm under pressure. But to the galaxy, these actions had created a legend, one that would echo across star systems for years to come. As Earth drew closer on their navigation systems, Myra looked at her crew and said, "We didn't even flinch, and the galaxy thinks we are giants. Let's hope they're ready to meet us one day." Tom and Dan nodded. They were tired, yes, but proud. They had survived fleets, rumors, and misunderstandings, and they had done it without fear, without weapons, and without ever intending to. The Pathfinder sailed into familiar space, carrying not just 3 humans, but the beginning of a legend that would make the galaxy look at humanity in a completely new way.